Long ball number 2 here on Monday, March 24th, the Club World Cup. Next big thing coming to the shores of American soccer. There's been a couple recent updates. There's some prize money news. A club has been kicked out, and there are some concerns about ticket prices. Which one of those updates do you want to percolate on first, there, Mr. Davis?
Okay, so let's get the administrative business out of the way first. And this is dumb. Okay, if it's FIFA, it's probably dumb. This is dumb. Club León has been kicked out of the Club World Cup because they're owned by the same team, the same people that own Pachuca, and multi-club ownership is a no-no by FIFA's rules. Now, why did it take this long for them to figure this out? How many months away from this thing are we? Like 2.5 months away from
Yeah.
this stupid thing kicking off? And here we are like, oh no, Club León can't play. Apparently there was some sort of appeal, but I do think that I think it's called Grupo Pachuca. I think it's called Grupo Pachuca was trying to figure out some way that they can manipulate this. Sort of like how Manchester City was like, well, we don't actually control what's happening over there at those other clubs that are under our umbrella. Right? We're investors, but we don't actually make decisions about personnel or anything, right? And they had to prove that. And I think that was the case with when Leipzig and Salzburg were both in the Champions League, things like that. That was UEFA, but obviously FIFA here is the one in charge, and they're saying the same thing. And I guess Grupo Pachuca did not do enough to allay fears that they were controlled by the same people. By the way, Club León is where James Rodriguez was playing, is playing. Is he still there? I actually can't keep track of James Rodriguez these days.
He's definitely gotten into the journeyman stage. If he wasn't already, let me look him up.
Have ball will play for money, I guess. I mean, not that's a bad place to play soccer. I'm just saying. Alajuelense was at the front of this, trying to force FIFA's hand, so they went to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and that always gets real boring, and we're not going to dive into that. The other thing that you mentioned is, there are a couple things. The problem of selling this tournament, slow ticket sales, concerns over burnout, FIFA struggling to get attention with this. Johnny Infantino is popping up in the Oval Office of all places recently with the Club World Cup trophy, which again looks like something that the Avengers need to get their hands on to save the universe from being extinguished from existence or something.
That will unlock a portal because it's the obelisk thing that a portal will open up.
It's a spinning thing with orbits and all kinds of stuff. If you haven't seen, we did a brief video on the Club World Cup trophy when they announced it. I think Johnny Infantino's name is engraved somewhere on it, which is just the worst, the absolute worst. Okay, again, 100 days to go. Tickets still available for every match. Fixtures showing large areas of seating unsold. Groundbreaking global broadcast deal between FIFA and DAZN has yet to translate into sub-licensing arrangements with national broadcasters. So DAZN has the master rights deal. And by the way, DAZN just got a lot of money from the PIF of Saudi Arabia. So you can see, you scratch my back, I scratch yours stuff is happening right now. Again, I'm in the country where this is happening, and I cannot find it in myself to be excited for this thing. And maybe it will suddenly explode in terms of interest. Maybe there will be some late wave of excitement around it, and this thing becomes interesting. They tried to make some news with the prize money. What's the prize money situation, Rob?
$1 billion.
$1 billion of prize money. And I would love to know how that's going to be distributed, depending on how this goes down.
So this stems from the increased prize money comes as part of the annual report 2024 unanimously approved by the FIFA Council with a revised budget. The new budget sets a revenue target of $13 billion, investing nearly 90% back to global football development. And the Club World Cup is apparently going to be responsible for 2 billion of the expected 13 to come in the next World Cup cycle. And they are claiming that they are going to put all the money that they put into this tournament back into the FIFA reserves, and everything that already exists will remain untouched. So they're, kind of spinning some platitudes. I don't know if that's basically just shorthand, like we got a blank check from the Middle East, and so now we're gonna try to entice these clubs to come here when they were already sitting on the fence. As we remember, Real Madrid and some other very notable teams, clubs, and officials have, aired some misgivings about this. And what kind of smooths over misgivings there, Jason?
There will be a solidarity pot, meaning this is for money for clubs that aren't participating, to like spread the wealth. Look, this is to dress up the fact that they are jamming yet another tournament down our throats and asking players to put their bodies on the line for this tournament, right? This is oh, you think this is bad that we're doing a Club World Cup with all these teams, 32 clubs in the United States in the summer, when there might be a moment for players to actually rest and maybe we're all burnt out on games? Well, guess what? We've got $1 billion that we're going to be distributing. So you shut up and sit there and buy tickets, please. Like, this is just a way of managing the discussion, the narrative around this project.
Silver lining, or trying to be, trying to find where the ticket sales come from. We as sports enthusiasts and consumers of it, just in general, as sports fans, there's so many competitions, it's pretty hard to look too far ahead of our nose. Do you think perhaps like once the tournament is actually right there on the doorstep, people get excited and buy?
It's possible. I mean, they may have to cut prices, right? They may have to say, "Hey, come to the Club World Cup for $9.99. You get a hot dog and a beer." I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do to sell these games. And again, it's a month of soccer. It's gonna be so that the variance in interest from the clubs, we don't exactly know what teams are going, in terms of talent, what they're going to bring to the table, right? Isn't that don't you have a serious question about what players are actually going to be involved in this from the biggest clubs? Like, we're about to watch the end of the Champions League this year, right? One of the teams involved in the Club World Cup could very well be the Champions League winner, the reigning Champions League winner. Sure. We're talking about Real Madrid. We're talking Bayern Munich, PSG, all still alive in that tournament. Will they bring their Champions League winning players? Will Harry Kane play in the Club World Cup because Bayern Munich wants to win it? Or will Real Madrid bring Vinny Jr. and Jude Bellingham and Kylian Mbappe because they want to win it? Or will they bring a bunch of reserve players and youth team players, and you're going to see number 65 starting at center forward for Real Madrid in the Club World Cup? I don't know. That's what I think. I don't know.
That's an interesting take. Like, they're trying to put summer soccer in the United States that is competitive, right? And then so all this work and all this money, I wonder if they have anything written into the arrangements to where X amount of, starting star players are required to put in a certain amount of minutes, because this could fall into being, a dressed up version of the club friendlies.
No, they're having to, I mean, the teams have to participate because FIFA's telling them that they need to participate, and FIFA's ultimately in charge. But they cannot possibly dictate, oh, you have to play that player or you have to play that player. I mean, I don't know how you could force that upon clubs legally. But even then, like, even if it wasn't legal, even if it was just pressure. I mean, we've had this discussion. Sometimes clubs get criticized for playing reserve sides in the FA Cup, maybe in the later rounds. It happens every now and then. I seem to remember Arsene Wenger taking a lot of criticism for playing a reserve team a while back, obviously, at Arsenal. And, like, what can you say? Like, don't do it, Arsene, you've got to take it seriously. What he's going to say, well, I got games on the other side of this, and I'm trying to win a Premier League title or make the Champions League. How can you I mean, those players are under contract. There's players I can use. I'm choosing to use them. And that means that people are going to pay $500 a ticket to go watch the Club World Cup, and they're not going to see Mbappe or Vinny Jr. or Harry Kane or any of those players.
That'll be tough. That'll be a tough ticket to sell if the first couple games happen and these big teams don't have their A1 lineups. So we shall see the Club World Cup coming to American shores this summer. We'll see how that all plays out.